That's why I rock with him.
Oh, that's nice. That's nice.
That's why I rock with JV, man.
JV.
Happy April, you hooligans. I appreciate you tuning in. It's the JV Show. It's your every week podcast with JV and Shawn. Again, we're in that NFL dead period right now, but don't you worry. We got content every single week and another incredible episode ahead. So while you're here, go ahead, subscribe, like, comment, whatever you got to do to stay up to date with us. And today, we're going to do something a little different. We're actually going to welcome on to Shawn with a round of applause for his East-West selection, which is the equivalent of the Senior Bowl. Let's bring him on to Shawn Leger. How are we doing, bro?
In Canada.
Congratulations.
Let's go.
Congratulations.
That's for all the people that say that I don't play football in the comments. So, yeah. Anyways, the first thing we're going to talk about is Asante Samuel and his ongoing one-sided Twitter beef with Dion Sanders. So, Patriots fan, okay? Again, you guys know me, unbiased, okay? I love the Patriots. I love every player that played for the Patriots, okay? So with all that said, fuck Asante Samuels, because we should be the only undefeated team to win a Super Bowl, but his dropped interception in the Super Bowl allowed them to win the game.
Yep.
If Asante Samuels was as good as he says he is, or says he was, he seals the game like a true lockdown corner does. If Dion Sanders has the game on the line and they throw at him, first of all, they're not throwing Dion's way with the game on the line, and it hits both of his hands, it's game time. Or, in this case, it's prime time. So, right now, I'm going to throw out a few numbers for you, okay? 188 games, 53 interceptions for Dion, okay? 51 interceptions in 157 games played for Asante Samuel. That's kind of close.
Yeah.
Okay?
That's respectable.
It's close. And that is as close as it will be in any criteria for the rest of it. Okay? Now, what did they do when they got the ball, when they got the interception? What were they able to go and do with it? Okay? Asante Samuel was able to return it for a grand total of 728 yards and 4 touchdowns. Okay? That's good. Okay? Dion Sanders returned the ball for 1,300 yards and 9 touchdowns. Okay, so he almost doubled him in yards and doubled him in touchdowns. Okay? Forced fumbles. Dion had 10. Asante Samuel had 7. Okay? Edge Dion. Fumble returned for touchdowns. Okay? Dion had 1. Asante Samuel had 0. Dion Sanders, when he has the football, good things are going to happen. Your team is going to score, okay? The same thing cannot be said for Asante Samuel, okay? I'm not even going to mention the impact that Dion Sanders had on the, return game because, again, we're just simply talking about them as cornerbacks, but because if we were to go and bring that in and talk about them as football players, it's not even close. But now let's go to their accolades, okay? Asante Samuels was a 4-time Pro Bowler, respectable, 1-time first-team All-Pro. Dion Sanders was an 8-time Pro Bowler and was 6 times first-team All-Pro.
Yeah, it's not even comparable.
It's almost laughable. In their total touchdowns, Dion Sanders has 22 touchdowns. Asante Samuels has 4. So, Dion Sanders was a legitimate scoring threat, and Dion Sanders played on the defensive side of the ball. Asante Samuels was a great corner who played in zone coverage and went and did a great job in that. He baited a lot of quarterbacks into throwing into his zone. He was great. Dion Sanders was generational. Dion Sanders would stick to whoever you thought your wide receiver 1 is, and he would take them out of the game. And then not only would he do that, he would also bait the quarterback into throwing his way. But unlike Asante Samuel, Dion Sanders would go and pick the ball off and then take it to the crib. So, Asante Samuel's maybe a Patriots Hall of Famer. He's definitely not going to the real Hall of Fame. But to even consider that this is an argument is laughable. Dion Sanders on his worst day is better than Asante Samuels on his best. But there's a reason why Asante Samuels is using Dion Sanders' name for clickbait and not vice versa.
No, that's well said. And coming from a Patriots fan, too, it's actually absolutely embarrassing that this happened. Asante Samuel calling out Dion Sanders was flat out embarrassing. And like you said, Deshaun, we're looking at it from a cornerback standpoint purely right now, but we're forgetting the fact Dion was a multi-sport athlete, played in the MLB, the NFL. We're talking about one of the best athletes we've seen. And now he goes to Colorado. He's having extreme success coaching, and Asante Samuel is going to call him out. Why? Why? Because he did one interview about a T-step? I don't know. I thought it was absolutely laughable, but it's just classic social media. It's guys that he had a good career, and this is the thing. Nobody was ever taking away from what Asante Samuel did until he decided to go on Twitter and call out Dion Sanders and then put out his yearly reminder of interception totals. When it's like, is that really all that defines a corner? How about the fact that Dion was a lockdown guy, man-to-man, and quarterbacks were afraid to throw his way? And he still was performing with the same numbers, if not even better than Asante Samuel across the board.
Yeah, so I just wanted to be super clear to all football fans out there that this is not a conversation, and I will make a little bit of a hot take that should not be a hot take. When we are comparing cornerbacks, we need to stop comparing zone corners to man corners. Man corners are able to play zone, okay? It's a lot more, it's a lot easier of a transition. Zone corners cannot run in man coverage, okay? It is easier to get interceptions when you have to just drop back and sit into a zone. It's a lot harder to have to go and run with the most athletic man on the field and do it running backwards.
Yep, I couldn't agree more, Deshaun. Very well said. Topic 2 for this evening, and this hits a little home now for me as a Buffalo Bills fan. James Cook wants a $15 million extension at least. I mean, that's all we got from his IG Live where he pinned this comment. And I will say this, and I'll open it up with $15 million for James Cook is absolutely ridiculous and way too steep for his role on the offense. James Cook played 48% of the Buffalo Bills snaps last year. Less than 50% of the time he was on the field with this offense. He had almost or barely 1,000 yards. James Cook had barely 1,000 yards. But because he got goal line work and 16 touchdowns, he deserves $15 million. He deserves to be the third highest paid running back behind Barkley and Christian McCaffrey. Listen, James Cook is very talented, and he has shown a lot of potential. That being said, I hate when players come out publicly and demand this type of money on their Instagram lives because that's not what I'm about as a person. And furthermore, if you're not doing Saquon Barkley things, you shouldn't be commanding that money or anywhere close. He's not a 3-down back. Like you said, Deshaun, we talked about it. He can't pass block. Yes, he's very talented, but if you're not playing all 3 downs, if you're playing less than 50% of the snaps, get out of my face with $15 million a year. And the thing that hurts me is that he's really all the Bills have next to Josh Allen offensively. So without him, Josh Allen really has absolutely nothing. Khalil Shakir, and he had a washed-up Amari Cooper last year. Josh Allen's fine. I guess he can be the Superman Buffalo needs, but it's sad that Buffalo's only weapon besides Josh Allen is now demanding this insane asking price for his role. If he was playing 75% of the snaps and drawing defenses into the box like Derrick Henry and opening up for the game for Josh Allen, for sure, give him whatever he wants. But $15 million's insane.
Okay, first of all, I just want to bask in the glory because like I told you guys a few episodes back, the Bills are falling apart. And over here in Foxborough, even though I don't live there, we are rejoicing. It is amazing because Patriots are back on top because simply you do not pay $15 million a year to someone that only had 207 carries in a season. That is 12 carries a game, okay? If maybe running, if maybe solely running the ball is not your thing and you're more of a scat back like maybe an Alvin Kamara, then I would expect you to be a little bit of a receiving threat. But he had 32 receptions for 258 yards and 2 touchdowns. He's not blowing me away on the receiving end. He's an above average runner. If you look at the high end running backs like Saquon Barkley, Derrick Henry, they had to fight and claw for that money. Saquon got rejected for Daniel Jones. Derrick Henry had to take a team-friendly deal. Why on God's green earth would any franchise pay James Cook $15 million a year when you have guys like Aaron Jones and Josh Jacobs that are far superior running back talent that are playing for less? And this is the main thing that I've always said about running backs. Running backs are a dime a dozen. And they have the lowest shelf life of all positions in NFL. With the exception of this year, you can make an argument that you did not need a top 5 running back to win a Super Bowl.
You didn't. It's not an argument. It's proven.
With the exception of this most recent Super Bowl, the last time that top 5 running back won was when the Seahawks won in 2012. And that was more than 10 years ago. So you do not need to pay high-end money to get high-end production. We've seen it this year with Christian McCaffrey. Christian McCaffrey is an MVP level running back. He's amazing, generational. Okay? We've seen what the backup did. The multiple backups. Backup after backup was getting hurt, and guys went in there and just executed and played at a high level. If I am the Bills, I run James Cook into the ground this year, and then I just get his replacement in the draft the following year.
They already have a pretty solid running back room there in Buffalo. That's the thing. And if James Cook wants $15 million, he better be ready for 275 or more touches and at least play 65% of the snaps. And that's minimum.
Yes.
That's minimum.
Yes.
I'm expecting way more out of our running back. Now, before we pivot to Shawn, your kind of take here on the running backs. With all that being said, would you still pay Saquon Barkley, a guy like that, after this kind of year that he had?
No, because I think that you can get similar production from guys that won't cost as much. Saquon Barkley is phenomenal. He's hurdling over guys, going backwards. He almost broke like the rushing record. But I think how Philly was constructed, you could go and plug and play about like 7 to 10 running backs. Now, obviously, they might not have the same historical season that he had, but Philly didn't need Saquon like to do that. Philly had an amazing offensive line. They had 2 great receivers and a great tight end that the holes that they were seeing on like the defensive end, a lot of running backs would be able to do well. I think DeAndre Swift is one of the worst running backs in the National Football League, arguably the worst starting running back, and he had a respectable year last year in Philadelphia. So if you could find the middle ground between a Saquon and a DeAndre Swift, I think you'd be fine. I just look at like the teams that have had success. If you look at the dynasty in New England, we were just rotating in running back after running back. If you look at who they had in Kansas City, like Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Isaiah Pacheco, like these are not household names. So do all-time elite running backs help? Absolutely. Are they necessary? No.
No, they're really nice to have, and that's what Barkley became for Philly. And
yes.
Look, by no means am I saying I probably would have paid Barkley because he had the historic season and he's doing so well for Philly and he's a pivotal part of that offense. And really, he was a massive reason why they won, even if the ball wasn't in his hands. Like, we've gone back and forth about this as Kansas City stacked the box in the Super Bowl, which allowed Jalen Hurts to open up one-on-ones with A.J. Brown, which is pretty much a slam dunk for any single contest in the league. But
yes.
I see what you're saying because we've seen Miles Sanders have incredible seasons. Went to Carolina, shit the bed. DeAndre Swift have an incredible season. Well, he went to Chicago and looked like garbage. Saquon Barkley, it's insane talent matched with an incredible offensive line. So I understand where you're coming from. I'm not going to fault Philly for paying him because at the end of the day, you're getting him for, I think, $20 million a year, and Cincinnati just paid T. Higgins 28 or something like that, some insane amount.
And see, I think the situations are different. When you are Philadelphia and you have a lot of players on team-friendly deals and you have the extra money, yes, go out and get a Saquon Barkley. But when you are the Buffalo Bills and you need depth on the offensive line at corner and you need a wide receiver 2, arguably a wide receiver 1, going and investing $15 million into an average running back just does not scream, I want to win. I think that is a move that is going to keep the Bills in the land of mediocrity. And I'm perfectly fine with that. So you know what? Break out the checkbooks. Let's sign to this deal.
And you know what? The ironic thing is that Buffalo's offensive line is actually pretty solid. They were decent last year in the run and actually incredible protecting Josh Allen last year. So you bring in even somebody we have on the lineup, Ray Davis, somebody could fill in and at least do similar to what James Cook did. He had 1,000 yards, and the 16 touchdowns is definitely inflated, but a lot of those come on the goal line. And I don't necessarily need to pay a running back $15 million to get me goal line touchdowns. Any running back in the league will do, and if not, we'll just do it with Josh Allen. So I think it would be a stretch to pay James Cook $15 million at this point. Next up to Shawn, we had AFC quarterbacks ranked 1 through 6. Last week we did our NFC quarterbacks 1 through 5. I thought we'd do 6 this week just because there are a few more quarterbacks in the AFC that we can have discussions about, and maybe give you some leeway here to slot in Drake May because we all know you're an unbiased Pats fan. So I'll give you the floor. We'll see what you got.
So we are going to start at 5. So we're going the AFC, okay? So we got some heavy-hitting names, okay? We got guys, let's get into it. Number 5, we will go with Justin Herbert. I think Justin Herbert is the epitome of drafting an elite talent and then having no plan. Justin Herbert, time and time again, has done everything in his power to yield success, and his team has just held him back. There are now talks of bringing back Keenan Allen. Can we get this guy some help? Can we get him a defense? They have what seems to be a good coach in Harbaugh. He's seemed to have improved at his time in Michigan, but I think that Justin Herbert is, in my opinion, a top 10 quarterback in the league, but he's continually let down by things that are outside of his control. And yes, I do understand that he's had some shortcomings in the playoffs, but I do not think that you can put all of the blame on his shoulders. So anyways, he's my 5. Okay? So now, here's where it gets a little tricky. Okay? At number 4, I'm going to put Joe Burrow. Okay? I wanted to have Joe Burrow at 5 because I think Joe Burrow is the most overrated quarterback in the National Football League. I think Joe Burrow is living off of the success that happened in 2020. In 2020, you still were in high school, and it's been 5 years. 2020, there was still the pandemic. The NFL is a what have you done for me lately league. And Joe Burrow has not done a lot. Sure, we can go and point out the stats. He's done great in that department, but I see in the comments all the time, stats don't matter. Matt Ryan's not a Hall of Famer, but guys like Ben Roethlisberger have 2 Super Bowls. He is. So if that's the standard and the criteria that needs to be that is set by fans and the people in the NFL, then I need to see Joe Burrow win more. So that's why he's at my 4. Number 3, I think he's a good quarterback. I think he's decent. I'm going to have Josh Allen. Josh Allen is good. Josh Allen, at times, he can make plays, okay? He is a little erratic with the football. There is definitely some times in like the red zone where he looks like he still needs a few more years to improve. I think for me, watching Josh Allen play, it seems that he tries to do too much, and maybe that is because a little bit of a lackluster offense.
A little bit.
But I think for him to take that next step, he needs to be more relaxed and calm in high pressure situations. Because every time he sees 15, not even saying his name, every time he sees 15, he doesn't do enough to get the W for Buffalo. And I get it. It's a team game. But the same way that people will hold team success against the quarterback or for a quarterback, we have to hold it here. And Josh Allen, time and time again, has failed. Josh Allen is a failure that is supremely talented. Number two, okay? Number two. This pains me. This deeply pains me in my heart because I believe in my heart of hearts he can be one. He can be one, and if Mark Andrews catches that ball, he is one. So I'm going to say 1A, 1B because it's that close. Number two, 1B, is Lamar Jackson. Lamar Action Jackson. Lamar Jackson is one of the most electrifying players in NFL history. Lamar Jackson, year after year, has been turning down naysayers. They say he can't pass the ball. How's 43 touchdowns? How's one of the highest QBRs in NFL history? Everything they say he cannot do, he does. They put up obstacles every year and he knocks them down. He answers the bell every single time. He's a 2-time MVP. He is dominating, not just winning, not just having success. He is dominating NFL players. He is probably the best weapon in the NFL on the offensive side of the ball. He does it all. And this is the year, this upcoming year, this is the year I can see the Ravens going all the way. Now, number one. And this I'm getting ready for, okay? Because I already know what those little idiots in the comments are going to say. Patrick Mahomes, number 15, is not only the best quarterback right now in the AFC, he is the best quarterback in the entire NFL. And I will go one further, okay? Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback in NFL history. The things that Patrick Mahomes is able to do with the football are things that no other quarterback has been able to do since or now. Patrick Mahomes is an absolute wizard with the ball. Patrick Mahomes, at every moment that he needs to be great, is great. So I believe, as much of a Lamar fan that I am, it is Patrick Mahomes and then the rest. And whatever order you want to have, 5 through 2, knock yourself out. But until 15 hangs up those cleats, 15 is number 1.
All right, I'm putting on a clinic. So, okay, I'll go through my list quickly, and then we're going to dissect a few things that you said there. At number 5, I had C.J. Stroud. Now, I respect having Herbert here. I respect C.J. Stroud. Herbert's talent is arguably top 5 in the league. But I will say, C.J. Stroud is a playoff performer. He is a genius when it comes to the big moments in the playoffs. He posted an incredible rookie season, and although he had his lows in his second year, he came out in the playoffs and played an incredible 2 games. So, I will say, C.J. Stroud is at my 5. I think the sky's the limit, but I can respect.
This is off to a hot start. This is off to a real hot start. Good job, Johnny.
I can respect Justin Herbert. I don't have a problem with you having Herbert because I had Herbert at 6. Those guys are interchangeable for me. That's fine. All right. Number 4, I had Joe Burrow. I agree with you. I agree with you.
There we go. See?
I think arguably the best pocket passer in the league right now. And I don't agree with you on the fact that he's living off Jamar Chase and T. Higgins. I don't know how you can tell me Justin Herbert doesn't have support, and then you tell me Joe Burrow has all the support he needs in the world to do anything.
No, you're absolutely right, because Ladd McConkey is the same as Jamar Chase. No, you're absolutely right.
That's fantastic.
See, and this is the guy that people want to say knows ball, and I don't. This guy just compared Ladd McConkey to Jamar Chase.
We need to have a conversation, because this is a team game at the end of the day.
How convenient.
Jamar Chase, T. Higgins, and then who else? Because they're losing Trey Hendrickson.
Oh, so yeah, like you just named an All-Pro and a Pro Bowler. Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Justin Herbert.
Ironically,
had Keenan Allen, Mike Williams when he was balling, because I don't want to hear anything right now that Mike Williams is trash.
Oh, wow.
I don't want to hear anything right now that Mike Williams
Let
is
us know in the comments. Let us know in the comments the better duo. Let us know in the comments the better duo.
Chase
Of these,
Higgins.
of every name that you're going to name here, he has the best talent, and he continually fails.
I understand.
But hey, he's Joe Shiesty. Keep going.
I understand. Justin Herbert has not had the weapons that Joe Burrow has had. But you cannot sit there and tell me that Jamar Chase and T. Higgins is enough for anybody to win a Super Bowl. All right? So I'll agree with you, though. I have Joe Burrow at 4. And number 3, Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson, 2-time MVP. Lamar Jackson, 2-time MVP, who is electrifying every single game of the year. That is fantastic, Shawn. That is fantastic.
Absolutely it is.
He's an incredible talent.
Yep.
His playoff resume is what holds him back. And here we go. His offenses have averaged only 18.5 points per game in the games Lamar Jackson has started in the playoffs.
Okay.
He's got 11 turnovers, 10 of which came in 5 losing games in the playoffs. He averages 2 turnovers per loss in the playoffs. So I will say, you can talk all you want about Josh Allen not overcoming 15. Lamar Jackson rarely even gets to the point he can face off against 15. He's lost to Josh Allen once. Twice in the playoffs. Oh, okay. Josh Allen had the big defensive play. That's fantastic. The Bills had the big defensive play. That's great. Josh Allen doesn't turn over the ball when it comes to the playoffs. He's an elite playoff performer. That's why he's 2. Number 2 is Josh Allen. He's a great playoff performer. He's my prototype of a quarterback that I like. He's got a better arm than Lamar Jackson. That's not even debatable. I won't even entertain a debate about that. He's got a much better arm.
Based on what? Okay, so based on what?
He's got a
so
much,
based on what?
Let me finish. He's got a much better arm than Lamar. Arm strength, accuracy. I think
Really?
I do.
Really?
I do.
Really?
I do.
So then
I do.
If that's so, why is Josh Allen not out there setting these records? Why is he not out there putting up these video game, not rushing, but video game passing numbers? Why is so let me guess, it's his lack of offensive weapons. Right. Because Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers are really that elite, huh?
I will tell you this.
It's not.
I will say this. Mark Andrews and Zay Flowers are 10 times better than what Josh Allen had this year. Number two, with every single team, every single defense in the league, stack the box to protect Derrick Henry. Do you not think that opens up lanes for Lamar Jackson to pass? And look, he had an incredible season passing the ball, and he has improved. He has improved. But listen here. Listen very carefully. Josh Allen's offenses have averaged 27 points per game in the playoffs. In 13 playoff games, he's averaging 27 points per game. And there are games against Patrick Mahomes where you cannot sit there and tell me it is Josh Allen that is a loser. He left the field with a lead and 13 seconds left, never saw the ball again and lost. Drove them down the field and they missed
How
the
many
field goal.
times? How many times are we going to listen to that? Didn't they just play the Chiefs? Didn't they just play the Chiefs? Didn't they just play the Chiefs? And you're you're talking about a prototype quarterback, 6'5", strong, run over guys. Didn't I see him get stopped on a QB sneak? Didn't I see him get stopped in a crucial moment to win the game? If they get that, the game's over, right?
For sure.
But I'm telling you, he lined up under center. He looked to the right, looked to the left. He saw 15 standing there, shook. Body shook, froze up. He wasn't built for that moment. He pissed down his leg. He wasn't built for it because he's not like that. He's not like that. But hey, let's talk about this playoffs. When Lamar, yes, turned the ball over,
Twice.
dug himself a hole, dug himself a gigantic hole that only Lamar Action Jackson can dig himself out of. And he goes, leads the Baltimore Ravens and down the entire field. I think it was a 90-plus yard drive. He dissected that piss poor excuse of a defense, and he gets them the touchdown. And then what happens?
So hold on. So it's Josh Allen's fault that Tyler Bass missed a field goal, that the defense can't make a stop.
No.
Okay.
But
so then what are we talking?
Okay.
Who's the better? Hold on. Who's the better playoff performer? Josh Allen or Lamar Jackson?
Awesome. So
who's the better playoff performer?
Awesome. So who's a two-time MVP?
That's fine. That's the regular season. And Josh
Got
Allen,
you.
most recently, because you're a big recency guy, is the most recent MVP, which we're going to get into, which is fantastic.
Josh Allen has a Joel Embiid MVP where they were sick of giving it to Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes, and they said, fine, we'll give it to this guy. He begged and pleaded. The Bills were on social media, on Twitter, on Instagram, Facebook, probably even Snapchat, promoting and campaigning for this guy to be MVP. That was a pity MVP. And I'll go on record and say he'll never win another MVP in his career.
Lamar Jackson had 8 Pro Bowlers and 5 All-Pros. And
how many on offense? How many on offense? How many on offense?
Make it past Josh Allen. Lamar Jackson's been to the divisional round once and lost 17-10 against the Kansas City Chiefs. That's the only time he's ever saw Mahomes. So you can talk all you want about Josh Allen not being able to overcome Mahomes. I don't care about. I don't worry about Lamar because he never makes it there. It's always shivers for Lamar. He's got 10 turnovers in the 5 losses that he's lost.
All right, who's your one? Who's your one?
Number 1 is Patrick Mahomes, and it is
Josh Allen's daddy.
Number 1
Josh Allen's
is
daddy.
Patrick Mahomes, and this is not debatable. There's no discussion needed. I didn't really write down anything here. He's 17-4 in the playoffs, 3 Super Bowls, 3 Super Bowl MVPs, 2 MVPs. Active leader in a handful of playoff statistics, regular season statistics. He's the next up GOAT. Probably, you know what? No, he's the most talented quarterback. I think.
Say it, Johnny. Say it, Johnny.
I think that I've seen.
Say it, Johnny.
Now,
Johnny,
Brady's my GOAT. I think it's unbelievable
Johnny,
that you're even going
Johnny,
there.
Don't,
because I will
Johnny,
say
do
this.
Not.
I will say this. Mahomes is very, very good. And when you're comparing talent to talent, Mahomes clears Brady. I understand that.
Let me guess.
Openly.
It's the heart.
Openly. It's not the heart, but you have to understand.
It's the it factor. It's the comeback kid.
It is the longevity of Brady at 45 years old, competing and coming second in an MVP race and finishing off his career with a Super Bowl. And I get it. Oh, my God. It was a stacked team. He was 45 years old. He was 44 years old. And this is the Patriots fan. This is the Patriots fan.
I thought we were penalizing quarterbacks for having elite rosters. Didn't you just name off all those all-pros that Lamar had?
He had great rosters, too. He had great rosters.
In Tampa Bay, wasn't Antonio Brown the wide receiver 3?
I will give him that, yes. He had an incredible roster in Tampa Bay. But it is still incredible to see somebody that old play like an MVP. I don't care who he has. He should be in a wheelchair. He should be in a retirement home. Like you, matter of fact. 25 years old over there. Sick and tired of this. So that was our AFC quarterbacks ranked 1 through 5. AFC quarterbacks ranked 1 through 5. It was interesting. It kind of turned into a Josh Allen Lamar debate, but what are you going to do? AFC quarterbacks ranked 1 through 5. Gotta love it. Our final segment here, Shawn, and I put up a story earlier on talking about previous NFL MVPs, and what this is going to be, it's King's Court single season quarterback MVP award. So I'm going to list you 2 MVPs. You're going to give me one, and we're going to compare them to the next. So we're going to start based off our previous discussion. 2024 Josh Allen or 2023 Lamar Jackson?
Why are we doing this? Why are we doing this?
I mean, you want to talk about Mickey Mouse Awards. That was what Lamar's MVP was in 2023, too.
No, because what is the criteria for an MVP? Is it the best player or is it the best player on the best team? Lamar Jackson was the best player on the best team in 2023. Josh Allen wasn't even the best player on the best team. I think the Bills had one or two more wins than the Ravens. Lamar Jackson this year had more than 15 more passing touchdowns than Josh Allen. Mickey Mouse, you cannot lie there to these people, to the fans that you've built up, to the fans that I've brought with my great football takes. You cannot sit there and lie and say that the 2024 Josh Allen MVP was better than Lamar Jackson. You can't. Don't do it, Johnny. It's not good.
So your answer?
Lamar Jackson.
All right. 2023 Lamar Jackson versus 2016 Matt Ryan. And I'll give a little context here. Matt Ryan almost had 5,000 yards, 38 touchdowns, 7 interceptions. Played a lights out year, but did have prime Julio Jones, who had another career year amongst many during that stretch. The Falcons defense was abysmal, 27th in points allowed per game. So who are you taking?
Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson was able to get his MVP without arguably a top 15 receiver of all time. That's also when they had Mohamed Sanu, which would probably have been a top 3 receiver Lamar Jackson has ever played with. I think those numbers are great, but you have to add the context. He had great receivers, a great running game, reliable a tight end in Austin Hooper. Give me Lamar Jackson.
And I will add to that Matt Ryan season, Brady had 28 touchdowns and 2 interceptions, but I think that was the year of the Deflategate. So his season was cut short and probably would have contended closer for that MVP. So that's fine. Take Lamar Jackson. 2023 Lamar Jackson versus 2017 Tom Brady.
I will go with Tom Brady here. However, he probably shouldn't have even won this MVP award if Carson Wentz doesn't get hurt, right? But at the end of the day, he had 4,500 yards, 32 touchdowns, 8 interceptions. He did have 2 great receivers in Brandon Cooks and Robert Gronkowski and Julian Edelman. Julian Edelman didn't play in that playoffs, but he still had great weapons that entire year. But those numbers, unfortunately, are better than Lamar's.
Yeah. No, Brady had a good season. All right, so you're rolling Brady. 2017 Tom Brady or 2022 Patrick Mahomes?
Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah.
Patrick Mahomes.
I think it's clear.
41 touchdowns, 12 interceptions, and this was after Tyreek Hill left. And there were football fans that had the audacity to say that Tyreek Hill made Patrick Mahomes. Patrick Mahomes went out there as a man on a mission, won his second league MVP, and let the naysayers know that it was 15. It was 15 that was leading that offense. So I'm taking Patrick Mahomes.
Yeah. 10 games above 300 yards, 10 games above 3 total touchdowns. And I know, when you're talking about MVPs, you don't factor in, they lost Tyreek Hill last season. But in this segment, I feel like we can, because it's that much context. More impressive that the year after you lost one of the most electrifying receivers in the league, you went out and did that and made a statement. So I would roll with Mahomes there too. 2022 Patrick Mahomes or 2020 Aaron Rodgers?
2020 Aaron Rodgers.
Really?
That was an insane year.
Yeah.
4,300 yards, 48 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions. And I seen a compilation not too long ago where it was 4 of the 5 interceptions were either drops into the DB's hands or it was hit up. He was laser focused this year. I want to say this was the same year that they drafted Jordan Love. I could be wrong, but I remember this being the year when a lot of people a lot of fans were saying that Aaron Rodgers was done, and he answered it with an MVP season. This is probably one of the best seasons a quarterback has ever had. He got Robert Tonyan 11 touchdowns. Like, not a lot of quarterbacks are doing that. And, like, again, I just want to say it again, 48 touchdowns and 5 interceptions. That is probably one of the best touchdown to interception ratios the league has ever seen.
Yeah, it was an incredible year. Look, it's tough. You're comparing Mahomes' incredible year to Rodgers. I would go either way here. I think it's split 50-50 for me, but I totally respect what Rodgers did. And like you said, I think the most impressive thing is that Robert Tonyan was an 11-touchdown player, and I haven't heard his name since. So that was incredible on Rodgers' part, but that's cool. You'll take Rodgers. 2020 Aaron Rodgers or 2015 Cam Newton?
I think my heart wants to say Cam Newton, but the brain just has to go with Aaron Rodgers. Cam Newton, though, shout out to Cam, 3,800 yards, 35 touchdowns, 600 yards on the ground, and along with 10 more rushing touchdowns. So he had a total of 45 touchdowns, and that still didn't match what Aaron Rodgers had just with his arm. I think this was a historic season, more so to do with who he was doing this with. Ted Ginn was his number one receiver, who at that time had never had more than 800 yards. Whereas Aaron Rodgers did have Devontae Adams. Cam Newton, though, that year against when he went out and played, he was playing some very subpar defenses. And even when he did go and take down the Legion of Boom, it wasn't a great game from him. He had a great last minute drive, but as an entire game, it wasn't that great. I think this is a historic season if you do not look at it in detail. I think the more that you look at this season, it might be one of the more overrated seasons, but again, still very impressive. 15-1, one league MVP. Great year. Just unfortunately not better than Aaron Rodgers.
Fair enough. And I'm going to circle back to this before we wrap things up, but you're going Rodgers here. And like I said, or like you said, Shawn, Cam Newton, very, very impressive. And I'm going to ask you about him versus our next guy just to wrap up the episode finally. But you went Rodgers, 2020 Aaron Rodgers, or 2019 Lamar Jackson. I think we all know the answer.
3,100 yards, 36 touchdowns, 6 interceptions. And then I want you to hear this, okay? Because you might not have any idea what this means because you're a fan of Buffalo and you don't know how to count this high. 1,200 rushing yards. That's more than the running back that wants to get paid $15 million on your team had. And 7 rushing touchdowns. So yes, his total touchdown count was not more than Aaron Rodgers. But the impact that Lamar Jackson had on the league that year, both through the air and on the ground, was probably one of the most dominating seasons ever. And what's so impressive is that this year, of the names that we have listed, is the best. And it's still his second best season. Unanimous MVP, and he missed his final game. What other quarterback is doing that? Like, legitimately, that's an open-ended question. Like, what other quarterback is doing that? He won a unanimous MVP and didn't play in his final game? That is, of the names that we had listed, the best MVP season. 2019, Lamar Jackson.
I think it's him and Brady, correct me if I'm wrong, that are the only two unanimous MVPs. So, look, it was an unreal season from Lamar, and an incredible playoff run with a loss to Tennessee in round 1 too. That was just incredible from his part. But I will say he did have a really good regular season, and it was fantastic, and that really catapulted his career into what we know it today as being such an electrifying player. Now, I just want to compare the two that we ended off with there, Deshaun, really quick before we wrap things up here, but 2015 Cam Newton versus 2019 Lamar Jackson. Do you think Cam had the more impressive season? I know Lamar statistically and league-wide just blew everyone away. But when we're looking at the regular season and the playoffs, when we're looking at the playoffs too, 15-1 with that Carolina Panthers roster. Ted Ginn hasn't hit over 800 receiving yards in his entire career, and he was his number one receiver besides Greg Olsen. But his number one receiver, Jonathan Stewart, didn't even hit 1,000 yards, and he beat the Legion of Boom in the playoffs that year and nearly took them to a Super Bowl championship, played in the Super Bowl. Do you think 2015 Cam was more impressive of what he did, or would you still go Lamar?
I think, first and foremost, we don't have Lamar Jackson without Cam Newton. I think he laid like the groundwork for a lot of the modern quarterbacks that like we see. With that said, they had nearly the same amount of passing touchdowns that year. Lamar had him beat by 1, whereas Cam Newton threw 4 more interceptions. But what separates these two from me, because they're both dual threat, is Lamar Jackson at 1,200 rushing yards. Yes, Cam Newton had a spectacular season, went 15-1, but that Carolina defense was insane. That was one of the best defenses of the last 15 years.
Yeah, that's a great point.
That was an insane defense. Lamar Jackson had an okay defense, and as you happily brought up, they lost to the Titans because Derrick Henry just walked over that entire Baltimore defense. He turned. Oh, what is his name? I'm blanking. Why am I blanking? I have to cut this part. What is his name?
Earl Thomas?
Safety. Earl Thomas. He turned Earl Thomas into a meme. He flipped him around and turned him into a lead blocker. So, with all that said, I think what Lamar Jackson was able to do, especially with, they both did not have receivers. I'm going to take Greg Olsen over Mark Andrews. And I'm going to take Jonathan Stewart over, I don't even know who they had.
It was probably J.K. Dobbins, but I think he was injured at that point.
Yeah, exactly.
It was Lamar. It was Lamar.
Exactly, yeah. So I think Lamar had to do more with less, and I'm saying with less as an overall team. I think the Panthers that year were a better team, and yeah, so I'm taking the unanimous MVP.
Fair enough. The story was a 50-50 split. For me, I think Cam's 2015 season will never be replicated because of what he did offensively with little to nothing and the way he dominated the league, gained the name Super Cam, and really just dominated every single game of that season. Went 15-1 with the Carolina Panthers franchise that has never seen such success, but I also credit Lamar Jackson for that incredible 2019 season. That's a wrap, Shawn. I appreciate you joining. Again, congratulations, brother. We are friends at the end of the day, so I will give you this, and I appreciate you hopping on.
Absolutely.
Yes, sir. Peace out, guys.